Right then, Danny hates videos sat at your computer, and I do, but we've got loads of stuff to look at. You need to be on your computer. So, Amarok 7 tonne is not happening at the minute. We've got a bit of an hold up at the VCA, which does all the certification and stuff like that and the testing. Don't know why, can't get in touch with the guys who are going to sort it. So we're having to wait a little bit for that one. So in the meantime, we've got another option to allow us to tow the big stupid trailer that we've got. So you can, if you're towing a big camper van or a fifth wheel camper van or whatever, you can go to a 6,400 kilogram, 6.4 tonne, whatever you want to call it. You can do that, but the main thing it does for us, that increases the towing capacity to 3.5 tonne. But that then creates a few other problems. So we'll sort of go through the problems and then we'll try and come up with some solutions, and then we'll point you to, if this is too much to swallow in one go, we've got a blog that'll explain absolutely everything and hopefully give you some indication of costs and stuff like that. I'd rather not discuss them in this, but the 6,400 is probably going to be half price of the 7 tonne conversion, because there's a lot more goes into that and a few extra costs that have got to be covered. So first thing, I'll get my glasses on. This is the tow bar that most Amaroks are going to have, Westphalia, sort of this type, something similar to that anyway. But if you look at these, they're only rated to 3,200 kilo towing capacity, which is obviously 100 kilos more than the standard factory towing capacity. And it comes with a D value of 15.7, which nobody cares what this S and D value is until you get pulled by those and you don't know what it means. But the S values how much weight you can put on the nose, which 130 is not a lot. You generally run more than that anyway. But the D value, that if you look on a calculator like this, so calculate the max gross vehicle weight of your trailer. If your D value is 15.7, which is a standard sort of tow bar D value, and your truck is at full capacity, which 3.29 is the maximum that it can be. This is in tonnes. That gives you 3.12 tonne trailer, which is, that's all fine. Everything fits in nice. You've not got any problem with your trailer being too heavy for your tow vehicle and stuff like that. But this D value has got to be something to do with how much load you put in on that, on the tow bar. So when going to the 3.5 tonne, we have to fit the airbags to the rear, which no problem, we've got that all sorted. Then for it to really be legitimate, we've got to get a tow bar. So now there's two options that you've got here, which these pictures are rubbish, but if you look at this picture here, this is a Brink tow bar. So this is a flange type. So this is good if, like our van, our truck, is you've lifted it or put bigger tyres on. So you've got to be between 350 and 420 millimetres to the centre of the tow ball, which if you look at our truck, it's still a little bit higher than I'd want it to. I think we're just about 420, 430, something like that when you've got a bit of weight in the back. But lower you can get it, the better really. Obviously without it scraping on the floor, it'll run a lot better. So you've got your two options. If you're lifted, you want this flange type, which I'm hoping we're going to have these on the website, or if you're not, you can use this swan neck type, which they do look a bit better. But these are rated to the 3.5 tonne towing, both of these. I'm skipping about a bit quicker than Danny probably can. So these are a better tow bar. So you'd have to upgrade to that. That's not a problem. But then the other problem with these, well, not a problem, but these have got a D value of 16.4, which if you go on here, 16.4, and you're at full capacity here, which you'd never actually be able to get to that anyway, 3.4. But if you're towing a 3.5 tonne trailer, 16.4, the maximum GVW 3.2, which is good because if you're at 6.4, you're never going to get to that anyway. So that standard, no problem. if we're going to the 7-ton conversion, you're going to need a tow bar like this, which is 17.2 D value, which they're not expensive, so it's not a big deal. But if you look on here, then 3.5 ton gross vehicle, 3.5 ton trailer, 17.168. So you need that other tow ball to go to that. Now on our truck, we've gone to this one, this type, which this is a 20.2, whatever it is, D value, yeah, D rating, 20.2, way overboard, but we wanted it just to be as strong as possible. So this is one of the only ones that have got an S rating of 3.5 at 350 kilograms. So that's the strongest tow ball you can get. Put that on just to be sure, but you don't need to. So obviously this is talking about the 6.4 and the 7. The only thing that's happening at the minute for us is the 6.4. So to get to that, we fit the airbags to the rear, which you can go from mild to wild with them, just something that you can blow up. We've got on the minute, just blow them up with an airline, or fully automatic, that when you put weight in the back or hitch the trailer up, it pumps back up, takes you level. Quite a big difference in price because there's a lot more work fitting them as well. So that's the first thing. Then the next thing, tow bar, no problem. Then the next step, once that's all sorted, we can do a bit of paperwork, and then we send off, and we end up with this, which you can't really see it yet. We'll go put it on for you to see it a bit better. But this is a new weight plate. It's like a funny sticker that can't be peeled off as well. But basically, what this has done now, this has meant that the vehicle, gross vehicle mass, 3,500 kilograms, the gross train mass is 6,400. But then if you look at the weights here, we've got 2,200 on the rear axle, which is 270 kilos more than standard, because they're normally sat at 1930 there. So, and it doesn't tell you on this here, it'll tell you on this bit here, if you look at this here, Danny. This O1 brake towing weight, 3,500 kilograms, maximum absolute mass, F1 maximum absolute mass, 3,500. So that, if you look at the logbook here, there's a lot of paperwork stuff going on. So the O1, it's going to change that to 3.5, which is what everybody wants. And then F1 is going to change to 3.5, but obviously because you're at the 6,400, not the 7, you can't have both. So you're always sharing. If you have an heavier trailer, you've got to have a lighter truck. If you have an heavier truck, you've got to have a lighter trailer. So that's the downside of the 6,400. But having driven the Amarok way at 6 and at 64 and at 7, it definitely drives better towing an heavier trailer than it does having all the weight in the back and the trailer being at 3.5 as well. But it's going to do. It's not what it came from the factory to do. So then, once we've done that, got your airbags, got your tow bar, set your paperwork off, this comes back. We'll go stick that on the car in a minute, but rather than going down doing that and then coming back up, then the next thing that you've got to do, you just need to fill these two little bits in here. So change the new revenue weight, 3,500. That's the date that it was done. Not done anything else. And then we just send a copy of this letter that comes after the up-plating's been done. Send that in with a logbook, and hopefully in a couple of weeks that'll come back with the correct values on the logbook, tell your insurance, and you're good to be towing 3.5 ton. So we'll go stick this on and just have a quick look at what we've got going on, and a few little tips and tricks, and then that'll be the end of this. What Mel is going to say is a boring video. So when we're putting this on, I think the only real place it can go is here. I don't know whether to put it on straight or not, but you're not meant to cover up this original thing, so I don't know how this is going to work. I think that's like an applicator, and that's it. What the hell? There we go. Officially towing 3.5 tonne now. So the only other thing, still on, aren't we?
Well, I don't know.
It's still. I thought you turned it off.
No.
So the only other thing we've not really talked too much about is the tyres. Obviously, this one, I don't know, where is it? There you go. 120 load rating there, 120T, which that's the speed. 120 is the load rating. These will do 2,800 kilo rear axle weight, which is quite a bit more than the standard tyres. The standard tyres on these are normally 111 load rating, which will only take you to 1,180 kilos, which is obviously 20 kilos less than the 2,200 kilos that this axle will take physically. So you don't need to go as crazy on tyre like this if you want to get the maximum. And to be fair, 20 kilos is probably not worth you splashing out on some brand new tyres all round just to get that little bit. But I wanted to go absolutely crazy because I want to be able to put a tonne in this, 3.5 tonne there, and not worry about it being a little bit over or having any problems later on. So if you're towing it all the time, probably go up a little bit. Probably want to get at least 112s, but we've gone a bit mad. And you put a tonne back of this, I had a tonne it at weekend and my back's broke, so I'd take it back out as well. But by hand, but you can't even tell on these tyres. The original tyres, you could see the squashing them down. You have to start blowing them up a little bit and getting a bit more pressure in than you'd probably want to. What I mentioned earlier about the tow bar heights, this is roughly as high as you'd want it to be really, and we're a little bit higher. Without any weighting, obviously when we put the weight in, it squashes down a little bit, but we have got another drop plate coming to drop this down, at least another probably 40 mil, something like that. But this is not the hitch that we're going to get. We're going to get the brink one and lower it down properly and do everything right, but we're trying to do this in between race season, which is not working out too good for us. But like I said before, this trailer, if you look on here, this is telling us the nose weight of this trailer, 350 kilograms maximum. And the tow ball will take the 350 kilograms, but by design, the Amarok can only really have 140 kilos. But if you run this trailer with 140 kilos, as soon as you get going, there's that much air pushing against it, it lifts back up, and then you start getting a bit of a wobble on. So what you should do and what you do in reality sometimes end up having to be two different things. But yeah, I'm sure I've missed loads of stuff out on this video, but everybody keeps asking where we are with it and what we're doing. Have a look at the blog. All the links to the products and the services and everything will be there. I think the 6,400 kilograms, we don't necessarily need you to have the truck here for us to do it, but if you want it doing while we're doing some tuning work, it'll definitely be easier. Just bring your logbook, and yeah, we can make you tow 3.5 tonne, which is what everybody always asks us to do. We held out for the 7 tonne, but that's not working, not just yet. So yeah, have a look on the website.